remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Welcome back to this, your 6:30 edition of the Tampa Native Show. Very special show this week. Most of you know, because this has been building all week. We've got a special guest sitting just off camera here who's going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. First, let me introduce the panel to you. On my far left over there, that's Tampa Steve, also known as
Steve Canella. Hello.
Steve Canella. And to my left, immediately to my left, is
Sally Nunez,
our very own 15-Minute Girl. Now, we know that we have picked up a lot of new viewers this week.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because as Paul Guzzo's article on our esteemed guest who's sitting just off camera hit the newsstands on Monday morning, since then, that article has been shared on the TBO.com website.
How many
Steve,
times?
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Over 5,300 times.
Are you serious?
that has to be some kind of record.
Wow.
I
That's a
think.
bell rung. And I think Paul Guzzo would have to admit that's an absolute record.
Pretty great thing for him.
And a testament to just how much our guest is remembered, revered, loved. I mean, this man brought us so many memories and created so many for the better part of 20 years here in Tampa. Well, he's back. He's back, and
got him.
He's going to tell us where he's been and what he's been doing, and we got him. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
We've got him. So we're excited that you're there watching us, and if you're watching us for the very first time, we are the Tampa Native Show, a show dedicated to preserving the history, I guess you'd say, of the city of Tampa. We've been doing this show now for about 4 years, 4 and a little bit, into our 5th year of production.
Incredible.
A little homegrown show right here in the studios of Tampa Bay Community Network. Public access television at its finest, but distributed throughout Hillsborough County on Verizon and Bright House, and worldwide through a dedicated Ustream channel. So thank you so much for looking in on us this week, and we hope that you decide at the end of this hour and a half to look in on us each and every week at 7 o'clock. Wow.
Welcome to all the new viewers.
It's a big wow.
It's a big wow. Let me just say thanks first and foremost to Mike Marino, another big fan of our show, who kind of set the backfire for all of this. He went ahead and contacted Jim Robiconti and made sure that we knew he was in town. Then he reached out to Paul Guzzo. Paul Guzzo picked up the ball, and he did that wonderful article that was shared over 5,300 times. And then beyond that, he also reached out to Mr. Lloyd Sowers. Lloyd Sowers, as you all know, has been with Fox 13, WTVT Big 13 for many, many years. He's going to be doing a feature on Jim next week. Look for that after post-production in about 2 or 3 weeks. But Lloyd does amazing work as well. So big things in the offing. We've got a lot of exciting pictures to show you this evening. If we hope you're settling in. I know it's early. I know you guys aren't used to sitting there and relaxing in front of your TV until 7 o'clock, but tonight we had to start a little bit early because Jim's got a lot of stories to share.
Got a lot of things to say.
Let me say at the top of the show, all of this wonderful stuff that you see here, those amazing shoes, that 8-track, this telephone, that disco ball behind us, all of these wonderful things. And Stevie's got a shirt that he brought just in case that he got so excited.
He might want to change.
In case he soiled his. We brought that one. We brought that one for Jim. That's a Huckapoo designer '70s shirt.
Y'all remember that?
I remember the shirt too.
Comes from Sherry's Yesterdays, right there. just south on the corner of Florida and Hillsborough Avenue.
Thank
So
you,
thank
Sherry.
you,
Great
Sherry,
place. Thank
for
you, Sherry.
donating these wonderful artifacts. And I've got some albums here. We're going to be showing it all to you in a little bit. Who
got it all.
doesn't remember Robiconti, Steve?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know if anyone is out there that doesn't know or doesn't remember Robiconti's. I mean, that was a great place to go. So many memories that I have of the place. And
Back in
it's
1976,
incredible.
when Robiconti's opened in the spring of '76, a lot of us
Right.
were either already of drinking age or were just about to become of drinking age, because the drinking age at that time was 18.
I was right there, right on the money.
You were, and as was I, So, you know, either you started your evening at Robiconti's if you were smart, because you didn't want to get there late having to park out in the deepest end of the parking lot and walk all the way in with your platform shoes and your good clothes,
right.
or you got there late, either early or late, your Friday night or Saturday night ended up at Robiconti's. It was the decade of dance,
Right.
some amazing music, and what you're going to find out about our guest tonight, Jim Robiconti, is he was sort of on the cutting edge of a lot of promotions and a lot of interactions with both the radio stations and the TV stations and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were just starting out at that time. So Jim brought it all to us.
It was a perfect match.
It was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Well said. It was a perfect storm. So why don't we just say this up top? If you haven't watched our show before, the phone that you see here is for your phone calls. We're going to get through about 40 minutes of the show at the top, then we're going to open the phone lines for you to call in, share your memories, ask your questions of Jim. When you do call in, try to keep your calls brief so we can get Jim's answer in, and we'll keep the phone lines moving. Give us your lucky Bolita drawing number, Steve, between
1 and 75,
Closest-
closest to, without going over.
There you go. We're going to be giving away a prize tonight, and the prize tonight is special.
Right.
We've not done this before, but in honor of our special guest, tonight's prize is going to be dinner for two.
Ooh.
Dinner for two.
Nice.
With Mr. Robiconti at Castillo's Cafe and Catering in the heart of West Tampa. Not only are they a sponsor of our show, but they're our dear friends.
Yeah.
And they've stepped up tonight. But wait, there's more. If you call tonight, also you're going to be able to have dinner with the crew of the Tampa Native Show, because we will be there with you as well.
Very cool.
Be
You've
fun.
got to call in, okay? Emails are accepted, but you got to call in to win. Give us your lucky number between 1 and 75. All right. Now,
Let the games begin.
let the fun stuff begin. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, bring it up in the four-shot. If you haven't seen him for a while, it's because he's been living in South America doing a lot of serious nightclub building and continuing the great work that he's done. This gentleman right here is Mr. Jim Robiconti.
Good to see you, Mario.
Welcome.
you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the show.
Welcome to our humble
Thank
self.
you so
Absolutely.
much. I want to say it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be called on a show like this. I've been gone for so long. I'm just surprised, and I'm really humbled that so many people remember the club. It was a special part of my heart, that place, and it'll always be a special place for me. But you guys are great, and I think Tampa Natives is a great idea for not only Tampa, but any city in the country should have a show like this, because Robiconti's was really a history book of Tampa. It was a big bar, but it was a history book, as I say, of Tampa, what was going on for that long period of time, and everybody in Tampa came there, and it's just great.
And here
Was
we are.
great.
And
And
here we
here
are,
we are.
35, maybe
35
almost
years.
40
Right.
years
Whoa.
later, just about
Amazing.
35 years later, and we're still with vivid memories of those wonderful evenings spent over there. And it wasn't just there, because Jim started, as you'll find out here in just a couple of minutes, as a 26-year-old general manager of the then brand new Holiday Inn Airport, which was across the street from Jefferson High School on Cypress. Many of you will remember, just east of West Shore. When it opened its doors in 1973, Jim will ask him, and he can fill in the blanks. He was the first general manager as a 26-year-old. But before that, growing up in,
I grew up in Binghamton, New York.
there you go. Tell everybody where Binghamton is.
Well, Binghamton is about 200 miles upstate from Manhattan. We went from Binghamton to Brooklyn, back to Binghamton. My career started at Holiday Inn. I was about 14 years old and got a job mowing the lawn
There you go.
at the Holiday Inn. And I enjoyed it, summer job. I stayed there, I liked it. And then I got a job as a bellhop. And what was beautiful at the time, and it probably is today, if I wanted to learn any job in the hotel, they'd let me. They wouldn't pay me the extra hours. They'd say, you want to learn, you go learn.
Right.
Right.
So for the period of time between I was 14 and say 18 years old, my schoolwork suffered, but I learned how to work the front desk. I learned how to be a dishwasher. I learned how to be a bartender. I learned how to be a short order cook.
Little housekeeping.
I learned how to housekeeping. I learned how the laundry ran. I learned how to clean a swimming pool. And I just worked my way up and ended up running the place when I was 22 years old.
That's
Wow.
pretty good.
Good management experience.
Well,
Pretty
it was
Yeah.
great. You know, I'm a hands-on manager, so it's hotel business is a great business. If you like people, if you like doing it, because it doesn't get boring. This today
Right.
you can be
You
in a
always see
restaurant,
somebody
tomorrow
new.
in a bar tomorrow. So it's real
Yeah.
good. Real
Absolutely.
good.
That's nice.
I worked in New York, I worked in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, North Carolina, and then they transferred me and said, "Do you want a job opening a new Holiday Inn in this place called Tampa, Florida?"
There we go.
And I said, "Okay, let's go."
This little town.
Yeah, it was a 265-room Holiday Inn at the time, West Shore and Cypress, as you
Yes,
said. There was
yeah.
nothing at that corner except me. There was an old orange roof, Howard
Johnson.
Howard
Johnson's,
Johnson's, yeah.
absolutely.
and where the Marriott is was a movie theater.
Austin Cinema.
That's exactly right. And so here I was, and that was the first time I was ever referred to as a Latin. Okay? And they would call me a Latin, all the Tampa guys that would come in the hotel and say, "No, I'm Italian. You know, I'm Italian."
Robiconti.
No, down here you're a Latin if you're part Cuban and part Italian.
That's exactly right.
So I found out I was a Latin, and it took me almost 27 years to figure that out.
So in 1973, when the Holiday Inn Airport opened its doors, Jim is about a 26, 27-year-old cat. He's just got to Tampa. He mentioned to me in some pre-production work that he was befriended by a gentleman by the name of Sonny Capitano, and also another gentleman that is no stranger to the show, and arguably Tampa's most profound treasure, Mr. Marcelo Maceda.
Yes.
So at that point, Jim, he's pretty well being tutored by some of the best in the city. And fortunate as he was to have been taken under their wing, been shown around, meet the right people, meet the right players, and before you know it, his own entrepreneurial spirit and kind of that inspiration starts to bubble up to the top. And what you find out is that Jim is a natural at not only working people, but at working a room, and also sort of a master of promotions, even before we knew what that was.
Right.
So, Jim, tell us a little bit about how it worked out that you got the job at 73 in the Holiday Inn and what you did to kind of make that what it was.
Okay, I was running a big Holiday Inn in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was 400 rooms with banquet facilities for 2,000 people, the biggest one in the two Carolinas. They asked me if I wanted a new job to open a hotel. I took it, moved to Tampa. As Mario just said, one of the owner's friends was a fellow named Sonny Capitano. For those of you that grew up here, his family owned a small drugstore on 7th Avenue. One of the finest people I ever met in my life. He made me feel at home here in Tampa. It was great. He then introduced me to what they called the mayor of Ybor City, but Marcelo Maceda, and he was, I believe at the time, the assistant secretary of the state of Florida. His office was in the Austin Center, but his second office was in my office or in Mr. R's place or in the restaurant. And I can see him today with his cigars and glad handing people. He used to bring Secretary of State Dick, I think it was Stone at the time, Secretary of State. He'd come in and have his meetings at the hotel. So those two people really, really helped me to understand the Tampa community. And any place you're trying to build a bar or a nightclub or restaurant or whatever, if you can understand the inner workings of the local people and what makes them tick, you're halfway there. So it was just a wonderful time. And they would bring people there, and I'd meet this one, I'd meet that one. I met Art Pepin from Pepin Distributors, Budweiser. We had a great relationship. The lounge, as I said, I worked my way up in the business. I also played drums and guitar and sang when I was a kid. I stopped doing that, but I had a knowledge of how a bar should work, from the stage to a bartender to a waiter and where stuff should be. So when they opened the Holiday Inn on a Friday night, there was like 20 people there. And I would say, you know, there's a market here, but we need to just make these changes. And they'd looked at me, all these rich owners, and what are you, crazy? We just spent $1 gazillion. What are you, an idiot? I said, give me a chance. So we spent about, I don't know, a few $1,000s, and I put a dance floor in the middle, got all these pretty girls behind the bar, and I put a band together from a bunch of out-of-work musicians playing
Band's
pop
name
music.
was?
Circles.
Oh, I remember.
Who doesn't
And,
remember
Yeah,
Circles?
yeah.
You'll see a picture of them later.
Yeah.
Tony Milio and Circles. And from 20 people on a Friday night, within 3 months, we got 300 people on a Friday night. Within 5 or 6 months, we got 800 people. And we're open and packed every night of the week. It got to the point we're selling drinks in the lobby of the hotel.
Did you get a raise?
What? No, but they put a sign on the front of the building with my name.
There you
Mr.
go.
R's.
Yes. One day I came in because the place was called Hangar 4 Lounge
Yeah.
because of the airport.
Right.
And one day I come to work, it says Mr. R's place because people used to call me Mr. R.
How about that?
That's how to
pretty
get
cool.
somebody to work 28 hours a day. You know? But it was a nice thing. So that's where that started. That's where it started.
And what you said is absolutely true, especially as it relates to Tampa, because Tampa is such a close community, was and still is.
It still is.
And if you know the culture down to the street level,
Yes.
and you can appeal to those people, we're very loyal. We're very loyal, like family would be. And once you and Jim, you're a master at showing people a good time, whether it's remembering their name, whether it's coming over to the table and asking, "Are you having a good time?" Whether it's whatever, settling whatever problems might be, people came back. And I think you saw that at Mr. R's. And then when you got the opportunity to kind of move north out there to Fowler Avenue and life changed for everybody,
Yes.
that's when things really exploded.
It was really great because when you get to meet the people, I had a very unique opportunity because I would see these business people for lunch coming in the hotel or whatever, and then I'd see them at night, so I already knew them. And I knew them in 3 or 4 different capacities. And so therefore it was really good. So if somebody has a problem, the one thing that's great is that if your name is on a building, I'm sure Malia would tell you the same, a good friend of mine, Malia and Dennis Sanchez, the people have somebody to go to.
Right.
To compliment or to complain
Or to resolve an
okay?
issue.
Yeah.
But the great thing about that is the worst customer in the world is the one that's unhappy and leaves and doesn't say anything,
right.
and you can't fix it.
Right.
So hey Jim, this sucks, or this drink is no good, or this, hey, no problem. Sorry, boom, here's another drink.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, you got a foundation.
Sure.
You know? So it's great.
And that happened in spades for all of us. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves in the storyline, why don't we go ahead and this time, and Becky, if you'll just bring up the photos, and we've got a bunch of them.
We do.
Let's go ahead and run through them, and Jim's going to keep his little description of the photos moving and brief so we can get through about 30 photographs.
And there's the first one.
But what's important that we show all of these because
Yeah.
it's a progression that shows exactly what Jim was able to do. This first one here is specific and very poignant, and tell us a little bit about this.
That's Marcella Mercedes'
That's
daughter.
daughter Marlene?
Okay, and she was queen of the Latin American Fiesta. I was 26 and I was a little bit tubby in that picture because I was spending a whole lot of time with Marcelo and Fonte and Art Pepin and Dr. John Burrell in the kitchen of the Holiday Inn eating. So we put that up there for her, and it was wonderful. Marcelo was so proud of her, and it was great. It was great. I love it. Takes me back a long way. That's the inside of Mr. R's place. It was the showing where I put the dance floor in the middle, and right to the left of that table, and matter of fact, I think that's a Jack Daniels promotion.
Yes, it is.
To the left of that table is the stage where Circles played, and directly across is where the bar was. That's Circles. That's Tony Milio on drums, Jamie, the blonde singer, and Tommy LaRocca on keyboards. I can't remember the guitar player's name, but for you Tampa people, the guy in the front playing saxophone is Frankie Provenzano. Okay? He grew up here, a great horn player, and at the time his voice sounded just like Barry White.
Wow.
And it just worked great. But those guys did a tremendous job. I owe them a lot.
Circles used to play a lot at
They
the
were
high
there.
school
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
sock
they
hop
did.
because they
there
were
with
very
me
popular.
six nights a week.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, that's when bands all wore the same clothes.
Sure,
Yes.
sure. Now we're moving up north. Now this is the
That was
facility
the
up there.
front of Robiconti's on Fowler Avenue. That's probably was taken about a month before it opened. About 1 billion people went through that front door.
Who doesn't
That was-
remember that?
That was some old shots of the inside. That place, I did the design and the layout and the functionality of it. The man who put up the money for it, George, he hired an interior decorator. And the funny story about Robiconti's is he said, we're going to name it Robiconti's. And I said, please don't do that. You're embarrassing the hell out of me. And he said, no. He says, people know you. And I said, no, man, don't name it that. And I was dead set against it. He says, well, we're going to name it that or I'm not going to build it. So that was the end of that. So he hired an interior decorator to put all of those things in there. And that's where that great Dr. Robiconti's Miracle Elixir and
Beautiful.
It was like the old-time medicine.
Of course.
Drink
Yeah.
this or rub it on your horse.
Yeah.
Snake oil
And that's what
salesman.
snake oil. There's
Yeah.
a bottle of snake oil in that cabinet.
That was an
That's
an
exactly
apothecary. That's right.
exactly right. And that's where that came from.
And we love that,
Oh,
man, because it was very
fun.
stylish.
It was cool.
Very
it
stylish.
Was cool. There wasn't a cheap thing in that place.
Yeah.
And there was a dress code
Yep.
strictly enforced.
Yep. Now this is funny. That's a long time ago. That's when I was young. Anyway, a long story, very short. That club had about 52 outdoor billboards at once, going from Plant City to Clearwater Beach, of all different sizes. And I'll just leave it at this: the owner of that place was very good friends with one of the outdoor advertising companies, and they owed each other favors, and that guy paid him back in spades with those billboards.
There you
let
go.
me tell you.
Really?
And he kept them until he needed to sell them. They were
And it's
big,
just a-
small, and it was great.
It's perfect.
You know.
And it didn't need to say much else
Didn't
other
have
than
to say anything.
Robiconti's
That's all it
tonight.
did.
Tonight.
That's it.
Yep, that was a long time, but it was great. Did a good job. Nothing like outdoor advertising.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And the font there, you know, that font that we just saw
Yeah.
on that billboard also plays into that whole
That decor.
Fun.
Yep, the
Okay,
decor,
fun.
what you were
The
talking about
guy who
earlier.
did the interior drew that. He was from Rochester, Minnesota. Name was John Neal, a very sharp decorator.
It still plays.
Yeah, it
Mr.
does.
Robiconti.
Yeah,
It
it
still
works for that.
plays.
Yeah.
And we're privileged tonight to have you here on the set with us. I'll
Well-
say it now, and I'll say it again 3 more times before we get out of here. But one of 2 things is going to happen tonight, Jim. Either the Tampa Native Show is going to get the Robiconti bump, or I don't think that. Can we give this man a Tampa Native Show bump?
I think he's been bumped to the max.
I've been bumped by the best.
We're so happy to have you here, Jim.
It's a pleasure.
Next photograph.
It's a pleasure. That's the band Tampa. Once again, I may not remember everybody. The guitar player up in the back is named Rick Papello. He's a Tampa guy.
Oh, yeah. Sure he
is.
He's one of the greatest guitar players I ever saw. He works for my buddy Randy Ramori at Sam Ash, and
Sure.
he sells
Yeah.
guitars. And all he's got to do is pick up the guitar, and people buy it.
Yes.
He's great.
We know
the
Randy.
guy in front playing bass is Elliot Rubinson. That guy owns the name of Dean Guitars. He has a big store on Hillsborough down towards West Hillsborough.
Sure.
Okay, and he travels all around playing with Carmen Apiece and all these old rock guys.
Right.
Elliot Rubinson, he's great.
To Robin Sibukan.
Yeah, he probably does.
The fellow playing the other guitar, his name is Brent. He has a group. They play in Vegas.
Wow.
The guy playing drums has an advertising company in California.
And your gonga player?
Is Elliot God, if you hadn't said it, I could have told you. He's
'Cause he's
Errol
the one that-
Panero.
Yep.
Errol Panero.
Oh,
He's the one that
Panera.
everybody remembers
He's a
because of his
jazz
big
guy.
mustache, and he was always out front.
Exactly right. And
Late
he used
singer.
to sing stuff by Lou Rawls.
That's right.
And the girl is named Bailey. I remember her name. I don't know where
Bailey.
she is now, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But there was a great group.
Yes.
And we had a terrific time with them.
You know, I
Wonderful
had
people.
totally forgot the band Tampa until I saw the pictures when you
Yep.
emailed
Oh my
them
God!
to us.
And that was another
for
group.
30 years, I
that
had
was
forgotten
another group that was. You know, there were
Yeah.
circles.
Well,
Tampa.
What
had so many bands here.
Yeah, well, they weren't bands. They all worked for me individual,
Yeah.
and they were great. So
Yeah.
one leaves, I replace that person.
Yeah.
A little touch there. We worked to make the sound as perfect as we could. So if we were doing a Madonna song, you close your eyes, you think it's Madonna. You think it's the record. You like
Nice.
that? Now, the guy who was doing my sound, and I'm going to mention this guy for a reason. The guy who was doing my sound, his name's Rocky Magistro. I picked him up with a road band. He was from the Bronx. And I never heard a band sound so good. And he stayed with me. They were a band that was on the road. He left the band, and I kept him for 5 years. He was a genius with sound, Rocky. He left after 5 years, went back to New York, and he did all of the sound for Sally Jesse Raphael.
Okay.
Guess who he does the sound for now, for the last 3 or 4 years? Jon Stewart, The Daily Show.
Oh, wow, what a
wow.
great
He
show.
does the sound.
Emmy Award
That's
winning.
exactly
Emmy
right.
Award
Wow.
Exactly right. He's a genius.
What a great
Yeah.
gig.
He's on there tonight.
Well, you would expect
Yep.
that Jon Stewart would have nothing less than the best.
no question about it. And
talent-wise.
he's got the
And
best
there he
with
is.
that guy.
There he is. And you know what? Let me
Yes, he
just
does.
say. Let me just say, while we're a nice segue, hold those pictures and hold that thought for just a minute, because in keeping with I guess, all things 70s, and I just want to make sure that everybody realizes, for those of you that don't know, our younger viewers, these are albums. These are 12-inch wax discs, vinyl actually. And this is, of course, a very featured album that was of the day, Rolls Royce. And Steve, I brought this one for you.
Thank you.
And here's another one from the collection. This is
Tower of Power. Is that
an
for me?
amazing horn section. I brought that one for you as well, Steve.
I remember
this one
that
I brought
cover.
for our floor director, Nick Nunez. This is Rufus featuring, of course, the great
Shaka
Khan. This one I brought for Miss Becky Yatta, our director. And this is a little taste of Honey, Boogie, Oogie, Oogie, Oogie. And Steve, what record would be
iRobot.
complete without a little Alan Parsons project for you?
My favorite of all.
Darling, for you this is
Bobby Caldwell.
Bobby Caldwell. And
Thank you very much.
What I
I
wouldn't
like
do
him
for
too.
love.
That's
And
right.
of course, after the party is done and we retire to the after party, I brought something for Jim, and this is Al Hurt's favorite collection. Why did I bring this for you, Jim?
The owner of Robiconti is the guy that really put up all the money, was dear friends with him. And Al Hurt came in and sat in with the band a couple of times.
How amazing.
Yes, sir.
No album collection would be complete without, of course, the queen of disco,
Right.
queen of disco, which is Donna Summer.
She sings gospel now, I heard.
And Love to Love You,
Yes, sir.
Baby. The late, great Donna Summer. We lost her a few years ago. And of course, saved the best for last. A concert like no other. I've seen EWF about 3 or 4 times live, and they're wonderful. So that's my 70s collection. Steve,
That's
you
a
want
nice
to put those
collection.
on? Isn't that nice?
That's a nice
great.
collection.
And what are albums anyway? Well, you know, today they're actually coming back.
They
I'll
are
be honest
coming
with
back.
you. Vinyl is starting to make a comeback. The needle is actually replacing the digital player, and here we are.
Old is new again.
Old is new again.
And I had
Good
this in
for
a,
us.
in a heart-shaped vinyl.
Yes,
Yeah, and-
you're
From Hemlock
exactly
Music.
right.
And Stevie,
Yes.
Yeah.
and Stevie, if you'll hold up there, because when you had to take the party mobile,
Yeah.
Stevie, if you'll hand that to
Oh, here
me,
we
let
go.
me
Oh,
show
yes.
you. When you had to take the party mobile, bring it up in the one shot. Here we go. When you had to take the party in the car.
The latest technology.
In 1975 and 76, you had to have an 8-track player. This is the greatest hits from the Spinners. So I'm just telling you, we don't leave any stone unturned
Yeah.
here on the Tampa Native Show. All right, let's continue on with the pictures because we've got a bunch more. Jimmy, back to you.
Well, let's see what's next up there. Let's see what the Swashbucklers.
Dancing Girls.
Okay.
Tell us about that and the association you had with the Buccaneers at the time.
When the Buccaneers started, I believe it was 1979. We'd been open about 3 years, and everybody was writing songs about the Bucs. And I see all these pretty girls, and what does a bar guy like me think of? The girls, because without girls in a bar, you don't have a bar.
Nobody's going to
Okay.
show up.
Nobody's coming.
So I said to myself, let's try to do a promotion. So I got with my band. I wrote a theme song for the Swashbucklers. So I sat down, wrote the words. I got my band, who was Rough Cut at the time, and they did the music. We had the 2 lead singers, females, overdubbed the words about 50 times, so it sounded like 100 girls sing it.
Sure.
We put it to a marching beat. I called the Bucs. I printed about 345s with a cover. I called the Buccaneer office up. I said, my name's Jim Robiconti. I got a club. I'd love to come see you. I got something for you. I went down there. I met with a fellow named Bob Best, who was the promotions director for the Bucs. I told him who I was. I gave him about 10 of the records. And I said, this is a gift. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, use it as a Frisbee. He says, well, thank you very much, and we'll get back to you. Okay, so I left. About 2 weeks later, I get a call from his secretary. Are you Jim Robiconti? Yes, I am. Mr. Best would like to see you at One Buck Place. I said, okay. I came down to see him. He's sitting in there with a whole bunch of suits, and they're all there. And I sit down like, you know, and he looks at me, he says, we listened to your song. I said, yes, and it really sucks. And they all were deadpan faces, okay? And then they said, so we're going to let the cheerleaders use it at the Bears game. I understand, and we're coming to see the game with me on the 50-yard line.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice.
So the girls learned it, they played it, and a big billboard up there, Robiconti's and all of that. And the best thing he did after that was he said, you can have 6 of the cheerleaders to do the song at your club every night after a home game for 2 years.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't
that
even
nice?
want to tell
What a
you
promotion.
what a zoo that was.
Yes.
It was great, you know.
Yeah.
So it worked out very well. If you check my website, you'll see the album cover and the words.
The next photograph, Becky, shows the
That's
girls.
them live.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the fog machine was in full effect.
Yes, sirree.
That was
Yes, sirree.
cool.
That was
dry
them.
ice.
That would be 79 and 80.
And I'm sure there's some folks out there that recognize
I'm
those
sure
girls.
there are.
Yep.
Boy, the uniforms have changed.
Yes, they have.
And look at the hair on the fellow on the far right there. on
That was a
photograph.
wig, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
so.
Yeah, probably was. Palooka.
You didn't have too much fun back then,
Oh,
Palooka.
God.
You didn't have too much fun back then. Keep going with those photographs, Becky, and then
Okay.
we'll get to our phone callers here in just a few minutes. How about this? Now,
That was-
now tell us about the legs contest, the beauty contest, those things that you created.
We used to do legs contests. You know, all my places, I never did anything real risque. I never got past legs contests or bikini contests or men's legs contests because I never want to insult anybody in the crowd. But I did that with legs pantyhose. And we had a big cash prize and judges, and the girl who would win would get a case of legs pantyhose and the little eggs. And
Yes.
what woman didn't want
Right.
legs pantyhose?
They were the best.
Absolutely.
So that went out real well. The girl with the flowers, I'm sure, is the winner of that time. Great stuff.
No
Great
shortage
stuff.
of talent, no
None.
shortage of volunteers to get up there and show their
Yes,
legs.
sir. This was.
After
this
all, it was the
good.
70s.
Geez, tell me.
This
That-
picture here, which is amazing,
That's-
because
yeah.
when we showed this last week in anticipation
How
of this,
big it is in
yep,
there.
in
I know.
anticipation
that-
of
there's a million people.
Well, that's what I was. A couple of things I want to point out here. Of course, the place is absolutely jam-packed, and Jim is doing what Jim does. He's up there with his microphone, and he's just working the crowd. And the gentleman that's right there, directly in front of you, is a friend of the show's. He called us last
Really?
week.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Ole
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
That's
the gen-
Ole?
That's Ole.
He said, "That's
the
me."
gentleman that I was telling you today for
Great.
the highlight.
That's great.
And he called the show and he said, "That's me in the front row." And he's got a camera there in his hand. You can barely see it, but if you enlarge the photo, he's holding a camera in his right hand. We are imploring him, Ole, please
Where
keep
are those
looking,
pictures?
because he's got to
Look
have
for
the
it.
photos from
Yep.
that night.
Yeah.
So
What's funny about that picture, I used to always play around with the people. If you look to the left, there's a girl in a pair of shorts.
Yes.
Terry
And I
calls
was,
shorts, by the
yes,
way.
I was just starting a legs contest. And what I did was I stopped the music, I stopped everything, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you your choice. I can either do the legs contest or we can cancel that and I'll recite Shakespeare for the next half hour. And all the people started throwing things at me and
Of course.
almost caused a riot, but that's what that picture is.
How many people could fit
About
into the
1,100.
1,100, wow.
Yeah,
Fire
the
Marshal
big
said not
bar-
one over 1,100.
Not one over 12. You know.
Wow. 1,200 people, brother.
12 people.
Now you know why they were packed in
That
wall
was
to
a
wall
zoo.
like that.
That was
The
a zoo.
stage was 28 feet
The
long and
stage was
14
huge.
wide.
We had a lot of video.
There you
Big
go.
time. Big time.
And
I
the next
think-
time you come to the show with us, which I'm going to tell our viewers currently, and we're going to get to your calls in just a few minutes. I know you're just eagerly waiting to call in as we're sitting here watching these photos come flying by us, and Jim's providing us with the color commentary. Listen, this is only the first visit. Jim is making his way back to town. He's been in South America. We're going to get to that story in just a couple of minutes. Building nightclubs down there and working in Peru, in Ecuador, in Chile. But he's kind of working his way back home. So this is we're going to end the year with Jim's visit and begin next year. I think once a quarter would
Yes,
be
sir.
excellent.
We'll have some
I
fun.
think once
We'll
a
get some
quarter
things going.
coming
I'd love
right
to be
here
here.
with us. So
Thank you.
lots to look forward to in the coming year.
Absolutely.
In 2015. Becky, keep rolling with those photographs because these are taking us right back. Okay, let's show
okay?
this one then.
That's it.
All right, let's show this one. We skipped this one, but we don't want to because those are your bartenders.
Yes, sir. Those are my bartenders on Fowler Avenue. Kathy, Yolanda, Mary, and Susie.
What an amazing memory this
That
man
was a
has.
yes, sir.
They had some legs on them,
they,
too.
They were the key. They were the key to my places too. That was the main bar at Robiconti's, and as you can see, that was a Buccaneer promotion.
Yeah.
It was so funny. The shorter girl on the right, Kathy and Karen. The shorter girl on the right, the blonde, was a twin, and her sister was a waitress, and they looked exactly alike, body, face. Playboy came in and wanted to take them to do a spread, and they didn't do it. But great girls, great girls.
And if you
Most
notice-
of them are grandmothers today.
Yeah.
If you
They're
notice in the
grandmothers.
background,
Yep.
again, wall to wall.
It always
Yes.
was. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. That
A
was
testament
a
to
great
the
bar.
kind
was
of
the
show that
place
you
to
put
be.
on.
It was
sir.
a great bar.
Yes,
Well,
it was.
Testament
Yes.
to those girls looking hot too.
And that didn't hurt.
Yes, sir. That was a band, Rough Cut. And what's interesting about this band, the two girls in the front are the ones that sang the Swashbuckler song, and we overdubbed it. In the back, the tallest blonde-haired guy, his name is Steve, and the guy to his left with a little Beatlesy kind of a jacket and the mustache is Jim. Both of those guys were taken from me by Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
And they have been with Weird Al Yankovic for the last 25 years.
Oh, my
that's
God.
amazing.
They're on all
What a
of his
story.
videos. The tall guy, Steve, is a bass player.
Oh,
and
fun.
the other fellow is the guitar player. Both excellent
Talented
musicians.
musicians.
Terrific.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Because again, Weird Al's
Great
not going to
story.
surround
No,
himself
no,
with
no,
anything but the
no.
best.
They're great. So that was that. Okay. This was the picture of we welcomed when the Swashbucklers were at my club. The Chicago Bears game was always a big game.
Big rivalry.
So I made the thing. We invited the Chicago Bears cheerleaders. And as you can see, we welcomed them to Tampa. And all of the Bears cheerleaders were in there. And there is where that other picture came from with everybody on stage.
Hold that picture there for just a second because I want to illuminate one thing here. Number one, our esteemed guest was and is, and he's our dear friend. Was and is the kind of person that when he has a club, that leaves no stone unturned.
No.
So you've got the Bears coming in. It's a rivalry. Let's go ahead and invite the Honey Bears to come in and do a promotion with the Swashbucklers. What a great idea. And then we're going to have a cake for them because who doesn't like cake? And then I want to also point out the fact that Jim had the foresight to put on that cake, "Welcome to Tampa." Saying nothing about Tampa Bay.
Not Tampa Bay.
Saying nothing about Tampa Bay. So, Jim, you were way ahead of the curve. This man, I think it's safe to say, kind of raised the bar.
Yeah,
And he
I'd
let
say
everybody
so.
else in Tampa know, look, there's a new player in town.
Right.
And if you want to keep up, because as we were talking the other day in pre-production, Jim was telling me that the death knell, and this is, Jim, if I'm wrong, you correct me, the death knell of any relationship, be it a relationship between friends or spouses, lovers, business associates, or in this case here where you're creating a business environment, is boredom.
Boredom.
Is boredom.
I would
That's
agree with that.
So Jim always evolving, always giving you something new to look forward to and promoting. So Don King had nothing on this man sitting to our right.
Well, I always, when I talk to people about nightclubs, I always compare it with love affairs.
There you go.
And that's how I do it. When you have your girlfriend and who becomes your wife, who becomes your lover, the first time in bed is wonderful, 10 times later is wonderful, 20 times later is wonderful, 50 times later, are you finished? I'm a little tired. Okay?
There's your first bell ring of the night right there.
Discos are the same way. The first time it's wonderful, it goes right on. Oh God, it's the same crappy song. It's the same bartender with an attitude.
Yeah.
It's the same drink.
Yeah.
So you got to change it. They're both the same.
That's
Very
right.
good. Very good.
I
They
would
are.
agree.
Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly.
I was thinking the same thing earlier too about Jim's attention to detail, and the fact just his ability, his creative ability,
Right.
to do all these different promotions, the different like the lace contest, bikini contest. I mean, that's certainly the formula to success.
Yeah.
To his success. But I think it's just the creativeness and also the attention to detail.
And another opportunity for me to point out that it was a perfect storm of sorts because Jim got here at a time, again, we talk about, let's take step back a little bit and talk a little bit about Tampa's history and the fact that, those immigrants that came to Ybor City in West Tampa to do the cigar factory thing, the cigar industry thing,
Right.
they're 3 generations later, their offspring, myself, Steve, Sally, we're now coming of age. We're the ones now that are running the streets. We're the ones that are going to the clubs. So Tampa is in full flower. Jim comes along at a time when you've got all the baby boomers, all the available people to come to your club.
And there were lots of them.
And for better or for worse, I know some people don't care for disco music. They look back at it and they scoff at it. Oh, I'm a rock and roller. I'm a Bob Seger in the Silver Bullet Band, whatever.
It was
But the
fun.
reality was, at that point in time, disco and dance music was in play. So he got here and he gave us all of that at that time.
Perfect timing.
When it was just perfect. You couldn't walk into that club of 1,100 people and not know half of the people in there because that's how it was. So it was more of a metaphor, really and truthfully. Robiconti's and the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, was more of a metaphor for the happy times. So when you just say, you watch the TV commercials currently, and his daughter's doing one of the commercials, you've seen it for HCA, talking about wait times at the hospitals. And she ends the commercial by saying, HCA hospitals where the wait times are less than 30 minutes, I'm Tammy Robiconti. And she just says, I'm Tammy Robiconti, and you just automatically go, she's got to be a nice person. Because every time I ever went into Robiconti's, I had a great time. So it just conjures up a wonderful
good feeling.
It's really a metaphor. And Jim, we can't thank you enough.
Well, I
we can't thank
appreciate
you
it.
enough.
Thank you so much. Well, I tried like hell, let me tell you.
No, and you did good. I know. Listen, I know it wasn't without its fair share of headaches.
You have
maybe
your
heartaches
moments.
along the way.
You
Yeah,
have
of
your
course,
moments.
Of course.
There's one thing I want to say, and once again, there's one thing when you have a club and it's called the Sahara Desert Club.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing when your name's on the top of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So you can sit there, and when there's 1,000 people in the place, you're just the prince of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk on water. What about the nights when there's 10 people and your friends walk in and say, how come there's nobody here? This
Right.
place sucks, Robiconti. So, you got to stay with it.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
got to stay with it.
And
You
boredom
did.
and boredom is the killer.
It's
we
a
know
killer.
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, how many more pictures we got, Stevie?
Well, we have another, probably another 12. It looks like.
Excellent.
we do.
Let's
More
get
than
through
that.
these 12, and then we got that. Do we have that break
No,
available?
We'll check with Becky on that.
All right,
We-
check
we
with
may
Becky
have
on,
that,
on the video that we hope to be able. Wonderful. All right, let's keep going.
We have
Got
like
about 12
15
more to
really.
go.
15.
And nobody here is bored. I hope
I'll
you're
go
not either.
quick. We started the bar and restaurant employees night on a Monday night. Let me go quickly into that.
Another trend setting.
Yes, sir. It
Yeah.
was, and it was totally by accident. I wish I could have copywritten it. I had worked for about 2 years, and I don't take days off because it's not a job to me. And my partner, you got to take a day off. You got to take a day off. You got to take a day off. You're going to die. So he got mad at me. And okay, the first night that slowed down at Robiconti's was Monday. Now at the time on Fowler Avenue, quite a bit of our late night business was bar and restaurant people. CDB Pizza, Copper Door, Copper Mug, all of those places,
Yeah.
Sea Wolf,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Down
all
Street.
of that, the 45th Street,
42nd Street
42nd
Station.
Street Station.
Yeah.
Those guys, when they all closed, they'd come at 1 or 1:30 until 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was going to take the night off. Mondays really went to hell with itself. It was very slow, 50, 80, 100 people. So I printed up some cards, little business cards, Robiconti's 2-for-1 Mondays. And I put on the back, and I dedicated to the bar and restaurant employees. And I put on the back, to those of you who make Tampa happen at night, the dishwashers, the bartenders, the cooks, the bellboys, bring this card, and 2-for-1, no cover charge, all night long, whatever you want.
Great
So
idea.
yeah, everybody has a hospitality night now.
Right.
But what happened, and it was so cool,
Right.
I had about 100 of them printed up. They were yellow. I remember them. And I gave them out like the week before. Maybe I gave out 60 of them. To my people were coming in from here, keep this and show it on Monday if you're in here. I took Monday off. 2 Mondays later, my assistant calls me, there's 350 people here wanting cards. To this day, do you know we were doing 2,000 people on a Monday night?
Wow.
1,500, 1,100, 900, 20. It was a madhouse. And every bartender wanted to work that night. Why? Because bar people tip.
Sure they
Yeah.
do.
You know,
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause they know.
So
they
then
know.
everybody copied
Everybody
it. You
knows,
know,
yeah.
it was in that, we did that in 78.
You can
And it
almost-
was an accident. I'm just here.
That's
Thanks for
incredible.
I
coming.
bet you there's some of those, somebody's got some of those cards.
Oh, I'm
still.
sure they
Those
do.
cards- those
you
cards
take
are
that
still
cra-
around.
You take that card to your grave, man.
Wow.
You take that to your grave.
Along with the VIP cards,
That's
because there
right.
were VIP
Yeah.
Robiconti
Yes, sir.
cards floating around as
And
well.
we
so
did the fastest bartender, and that's the plaque for it that was
Yeah.
in that last picture.
wonderful.
You
Next
know, you
photograph.
could almost
Steve.
write a book. How
Oh,
to.
that's coming.
Right.
If
That's
I could
coming.
get somebody, I could tell it. I'd to get to.
We'll get a ghostwriter for you. I
me
know,
a
I know
ghostwriter.
just the gentleman involved. I know the
Okay.
gentleman who we can bring into this. Next photograph back.
This is great.
Oh, come on
This
now.
is great.
Dusty Rhodes.
This is
Dusty
Dusty
Rhodes.
Rhodes, my old buddy. And he would come once in a while. Of course, all the wrestlers hated disco, and they all went to country bars. But I knew him, and I did promos with the wrestlers. And he'd come in, and he'd stand at the bar, and the wrestlers keep their persona. And he'd be a badass at the bar, and put my bottle of Jack Daniels here, and he'd start screaming at the bar, "This disco sucks! Don't you play any rock and roll? This place is terrible!" And he spent a lot of money, and he was
Yeah.
a good customer. And so I'd go to the band, play Johnny Be Good, play Johnny Be Good before he body slams me at the bar. And so right in the middle of a Donna Summer song or that, they start playing Johnny Be Good. All the disco people get pissed, walk off the dance floor. He comes down, gets up and sings it. That's it.
Great show.
He's a
Great
prince.
show.
He's Prince.
But they loved him anyway.
And he's still in town? And he's still in town?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
That was just another bikini contest. The girl in the pink is a Playboy centerfold. The girl in the bikini is the one that won. And the girl to the right, to my far left, her name, I remember it, her name is Patty Maznicki. That girl won more bikini contests in the state of Florida than any girl ever. So Patty, if you're around, you're a princess.
And I'm guessing, I'm going to take a kind of a leap of faith here and just come out and say it. Jim, I'll let you swallow that before I say this because I don't want you to spit it out. Spit take. I don't believe this man had too much fun doing what he was doing back in the 70s. I don't believe he had too much fun. Whether he worked 8 days a week, whether he worked 27 hours a day, whatever disputes he had to settle, the good times, and you're seeing evidence, photographic evidence of it right here. Jim, you had a good time?
It was
Okay, here we go. Back to the photographs.
You know,
So that
there's
happened.
6,000 comedians out of work.
And you had to sit next to me tonight. Mason
Okay.
Dixon.
That's Mason Dixon, my old pal
There you
from
go.
Q105.
Still there.
Another picture is going to come up. That was us doing something on one of my stages, but I'll explain that to you. He's a great guitar player. Mason is the best. And when we get to another picture, I will explain that to you, what that is. That was the first, God, look at that.
Huh?
That was the first New Year's Eve at Robiconti's, and I went right off the deep end, and I had lobsters. What's the date on that?
1978.
78.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Second New Year's
79.
Eve, yep. And that was just a hell of a party.
Well,
Hell
I'm
of a
gonna,
party.
and I'm going to throw this out there. I whispered into Jim's ear day before yesterday. I said, you know what, Jim, if it's at all possible, perhaps next year, perhaps 15 into 16, we might be able to revisit that theme and do another Robiconti, revisit the Robiconti's New Year's Eve bash.
We can do it.
And promote it right here on the Tampa Native Show. I would be willing to wager that if we get another Paul Guzzo article, ouch,
We
maybe
can do
500 to 1,000 people might show
We
up.
can do it.
Stay
No problem.
tuned, Tampa.
No problem.
Stay tuned.
We could use that same flyer too.
Stay tuned. We'll
great.
reprint the flyer, just change the dates.
We could have a geriatric legs contest.
Right. Everybody
I'll enter.
come out with their walkers. Beautiful.
The walk.
Next photo. That's beautiful.
That's great.
We're going to do that.
All
right.
Halloween became one of our biggest nights, the costume party. There'd be 500 people coming in there with costumes. Big night, and I'd MC it, and that, as you can see, Big Bird is there.
Yeah.
And it got to be a thing where one of my idiot employees, right in the middle of it, would hit me in the face with a pie. And that picture survived, and I don't know, but Halloween, that's what it is.
Beautiful.
Like
Big
My
Bird.
costume
Big
is a
Bird's
pie in the
house.
face, and there's Big Bird.
Next,
Yeah,
look at
okay,
this.
that's
Now,
Halloween.
Talk to us about the snake, Jim.
The snake is my costume. They used to bring me out. We would decorate the stage like a cemetery. They'd put me in a coffin. That's a anaconda that we did all the promos with Petland.
Oh, Petland. Petland,
And they would bring us dogs to give away for prizes and bring me the snake. And to this day, the people would tell me I was really stupid because they would put me in a little cheap casket and bring me out. And people at first would think the snake was a fake. And Rocky, my sound, he'd put the light on it and that snake would come out like this. People start running.
Scary.
But people would say to me, you're a moron, because if that thing had wrapped around your neck, it would have killed you before 10 of your doormen could have unwrapped
That's
it.
a rather large
Strong.
snake.
But
Very
that
large
was
snake.
about 14 feet long.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember the girl. She may have been my first wife. I'm not
And
sure.
again, it was the 70s.
Yeah,
so
it was
people
the
weren't thinking-
70s. All right.
People weren't
Who
thinking about the
knows?
snake
Who
and
knows?
wrapping
I
around
don't
your
think
neck.
people were even looking at the
I don't
snake in
even
that
know where these
picture, to be honest
pictures
with
come
you.
from.
Like what snake?
Forgive me for saying so. Is there a
Snake?
snake in that
What
photo?
Yeah, there's a snake. There's
There
a
you go.
snake.
Wonderful.
Oh, God, these pictures.
All right.
Oh,
now,
God,
I
that-
just love the pose. I'm not
I had
sure what
hair
it
like
means,
that.
but I
That was,
love it.
I never saw my name look so good.
Yes.
She was about 6'1". Her name was Pauline. I remember that. That was
amazing
my
memory.
mother's name. That's why I remember that.
Sure.
She welcomed everybody to our anniversary party and then disappeared. And behind the drape, there was a New Year's Eve. There was a big fake cake, and she jumped out of it 2 hours later.
Beautiful.
She's
I'm
great.
sure that was a big
Beautiful.
hit.
Well,
She
we'll
was
revisit
great.
that. Pauline, if you're around and you're
sir,
still available, give us a
Pauline.
call.
That was the winner of our Miss Valentine's Day contest. All you had to do was come out. They walked out of a big red heart on the stage, and you won some gazillion dollars, and who knows, at the time, if you'd had your show, they'd come have lunch with you.
And again, exactly.
And again, my hair.
Look,
My
if your hair,
hair.
number one,
God.
and number two, look beyond. Look
Oh, it
beyond.
was
Look
always,
at the
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Packed.
Yeah.
Packed.
Yeah.
Packed.
That's when my hair was black.
You
man.
sure
I
know how
don't
to
what
throw a
happened.
party, Jim.
It
Well,
was
yeah.
great.
No, you look a little like Weird Al Yankovic there with that hair
Okay,
going.
here
Okay,
it
let's
is.
talk about this.
This is a tremendous promotion. That's me on the left with my beard. Next to me is one of my singers, Holly. The fellow with the mustache is Chucky Boo Boo Bear. Next to him is Night Train Lane.
There you go.
Next to him is who else? Who else?
Mason Dixon.
Mason Dixon. That fellow next to him was a piano player in my band. His name escapes me. Bobby Rich.
Bobby Rich,
And in
also
the
another
middle,
personality.
John Rock and Roll Anthony.
Q105.
To do this real quick, that was all the DJs of Q105 at the time. And arguably, I had the hottest club, but not arguably. Q105 is a radio station walked on water.
Yeah.
They were the best. They got it. They understood Tampa.
Yeah.
The promos continually. Now, what's funny about this became the Q105 Robiconti's All-Star Band.
Oh,
Okay? I played drums. Chucky played guitar. Mason, of course, played guitar. Bobby Rich didn't do anything too good. Night Train didn't do anything too good. And John Rock and Roll played a little piano. The other two people backed us up from my band. We decided to make a band. And we played at my club. And it wasn't real good. It wasn't real good. It became a joke. And we had 8 songs. Night Train sang My Girl, I sang Taking Care of Business. But to do this quickly, we played some of the biggest events in this city. We did Zoo Fest, Lowry Park, 2 or 3 years to collect money. What was really cool, we you know, they have all famous people there, and we have our own stage. The Q105 Robiconti's All-Star Band. At the end of it, I'm up singing Taking Care of Business, and the saxophone player comes walking up. Is Kenny G.
Oh, no.
And he just got off his own stage and he
my
said, they
gosh.
came here and told me to play with this band for a song. So I give him a big solo and play. As soon as we ended, he goes, what the hell band is this? True story.
Wow.
But we played Tampa's 200th birthday party. We played Clearwater Beach. We played for the Bandits when Burt Reynolds
Right.
was on stage with us
Yep.
in Tampa Stadium. It was a hell of a promo.
Tampa Stadium.
I could go on for half an
the
hour.
good old days.
I was going to say, you must have met a lot
The
of
great
people.
days.
over
We
the
got
years.
about 4 more photos
Okay.
to go. We're going to take a little break at the backside, and then we're
Okay.
going to open up the phone lines. We don't want to miss an opportunity. to
Thank
take
you,
those phone calls.
Get
Q105,
ready.
for everything.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
Thank you, Q105, for everything, and
best.
thank you, Q105, for maybe possibly entertaining the conversation of being a sponsor of the Tampa Native Show.
Who knows?
That
Who
would be
knows?
cool.
And you know what, Bobby Rich, we know you're out there because we listened to your Saturday night.
I
70s
just
party.
had lunch with Bobby. Do I have half a minute?
You have 30 seconds.
Bobby never sang, never played an instrument. He wanted to do Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, my God.
Okay? Now, the problem
killer.
with the Great Balls of Fire is it starts with just the vocal.
Sure.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain, then the drums come, okay? So, remember Steve Martin in The
yeah.
Jerk?
Yeah.
That
I
was
love that.
Bobby. You shake my nerves. And I would have to come in with the drums and I'd be laughing so hard I'd be crying. Bobby, I love you.
Bobby, please.
I love you, Bobby.
Bobby, please. Not only MC, but DJ our New Year's Eve party
Yes,
with all that
sir.
70s music
Yes,
that you do
sir.
on Saturday nights.
And he's got to do Great Balls of Fire.
And we will pack the house
Yes,
for you,
sir.
Bobby. We will pack
And
the
I love
house
that
for
movie,
you.
the Steve Martin movie.
All right,
That's great.
callers, get ready to call in. We're going to bring up a video here, take about a 2-minute break. Callers, get ready to call in. Darling, give him that number.
813-977-6800.
One more time.
813-977-6800.
Operators are standing by. Call in now. We're going to take a little break, catch our breath, and then come back on the backside with your calls, okay? Thank you so much for watching
We're
tonight.
having too much fun.
The Tampa
Way
Native
too
Show
much
with our dear friend, the great Jim Robiconti.
I don't know how great, but I'm still here.
Stay tuned. Hi, Mario Nunez here, host of the Tampa Native Show. Seated alongside my broadcast partner, Steve Cannella, we'd like to tell you about a wonderful opportunity to join our family of sponsors right here on the Tampa Native Show. But I'm going to go to the authority on this. Let's hear from our IT department. Steve, Why don't you give our sponsors some facts and figures?
Well, you know, Mario, that's a good point. In fact, as manager of the website here and creator, I can see the people that come to the website. We have views from all over, not only Tampa, but all over the world. We also broadcast on Verizon and Bright House on cable with an exposed viewer universe of potentially up to 900,000 people.
Wow.
So it's we have a lot of eyeballs coming to our site, which will lead to your site, and also more opportunities for visitors to come into your door too. So be sure to visit the website tampanativeshow.com for more information for how you can become a sponsor.
No better time. Thank you,
no
Steve.
better time.
No better time to be a sponsor of the Tampa Native Show than right now, and we know that we have a great deal of added value. So if you'd like to reach out to us, as Steve said, tampanativeshow.com. Our email address is there, as is our phone number. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
On behalf of our entire production crew, Steve Canella and Mario Nunez, salute and happy days. We love you, Tampa.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for being there with us. The Tampa Native Show back at you. We've got about 35 minutes to go. We're going to run through some phone calls here. Do we got any photographs left back? 4. Let's get through those real quickly, and then we'll get on our call.
I'll talk quick.
There you go.
Okay, Mr. R's Place, 1974. All my patriotic bartenders, the girls were great. You'll see my can of Budweiser. That was a promo I did for the really wonderful Mr. Art Pepin with Pepin Distributors, long time ago.
Very
That's a
generous
picture
man.
of the sign. Yes, he was.
Next photo.
Leisure suit. God.
Isn't that amazing?
Remember those?
Huh?
I had one.
I designed a jazz club called the Jazz Cellar in Ybor City just before I went to Peru, and as you can see, it opened in '92 down there at Guavaween. Okay, that was for a Tampa businessman. Great little jazz club down in a basement.
I remember
Terrific.
that.
I remember
You got to go
that
down
too.
the stairs.
Jazz
to get in.
Cellar, yeah.
Right, Jazz
Yep,
Cellar.
terrific.
I loved it.
Next photo.
That's all the swashbucklers and all the honey bears on stage right after the cake singing We Are Family. Great night.
And lastly, now let's
favorite.
talk about this. Now this is a kind of we got to leap forward here, and we got to talk a little bit about Jim, having been in Peru for about the last 25 years.
Yeah, I've been down there around 20 years. This is in
South America.
southern Chile, okay? There's an island down there, and it's cold down there, that penguins breed on. So I took a break from the club, took a couple days off, and went down to a town called Punta Natales, way down. And we decided to go out to the island where the penguins breed. You can only go there once a day. Can't smoke, can't drink, can't anything. You walk up to a little lighthouse, you walk back, get out. And there's 1 million penguins. So I'm walking up to the lighthouse, you can't see it, and this penguin comes walking over and just starts walking next to me. And then he walked about maybe 10, 15 yards, looked at me like, what the hell are you doing here, and jumped in the ocean.
That's funny. That's funny.
It just is a cute picture.
That's a
This
great
guy?
photo.
That would make a
Southern-
great painting.
Southern Chile.
That is an adorable,
love
adorable
it.
picture. All right,
Friends.
now we're going to try to get through this and get through it quickly so we can get as many callers as possible. Thank you so much for being patient with us. We know you've been sitting there waiting to
Thank
get
you.
on the phones, and here we go. We're going to go with line 4 first. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Marlene Maceda Lee.
Hello.
And calling from Tampa.
Hi, Marlene.
Hi, Marlene.
Hi, I just wanted to say hi, Jim. It's been a long time since that jazz club in Ybor, the last time I saw you.
Yes, it has been a while. How have you been?
You're real good. And, I just remember all the time, thank God my father was friends with you because I could go to the front of the line because you were always there at the door. So,
Your dad was the best. Your dad has a
Privilege,
whole lot to
privilege.
do. Your dad has a whole lot to do for whatever success I had.
There you go.
well, I'm glad. He thought the most of you. He really, you were very special to him.
Great guy.
And we did talk about you often. So
Thanks. Thank
I'm
you
glad
very
you're
much.
back.
I appreciate
and
it.
I hope we can get together soon.
We sure will. Thank you.
Okay.
Marlene, your Bolita number?
19.
19 it is. Thank you so much, darling.
Great
We
call.
appreciate your call.
Okay.
Bye-bye now.
Take
Bye,
care.
Jim. Bye-bye.
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 We got a call. We've got a line open, so call us 813-977-6800. You can get to speak with Jim, ask him a question. or tell him just how much fun you had at his clubs back in the 1970s and early 80s. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Bruce Krinsman, South Tampa.
There he
Bruce
is.
Krinsman, how
Hi,
are
Bruce.
you?
Fine, guys. Good show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.
I had a couple of memories that popped up tonight about going to, on Monday nights, going to Robiconti's every Monday night, and I went after the monologue of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
So you're later on.
Late.
That's my kind of
There you
customer.
go. 1 o'clock in the morning, baby, showing
My
up.
kind of customer.
Attaboy.
And good times there. Can't talk about them on the air.
Well, of course. It's
Calls after
The
the show.
apartment I lived at, there was a cute blonde that lived right next door to me. She worked there, and her name popped up in my mind, Monica.
Oh,
Monica.
yes.
I don't know
Yes,
if that rings a
sir.
bell.
A little short, little blonde.
Yeah, Monica.
There you go.
Yep.
She lived at Centennial.
Sweet girl. Great girl.
We all had great memories of Robiconti's, and you know what? Thank goodness Jim has decided to kind of come home and just kind of peel himself away a little bit from that South American experience, which he's been enjoying for the last 20 plus years, reconnect with his Tampa family, and with a little bit of luck, we'll all be able to go to a club that Jim's going to open up here either in St. Pete or Tampa soon and have a drink with Jim. So, Bruce, thank you so much for calling. Give us your Bolita number.
I got one more thing to say. Years later, I used to talk to Jim almost every other day at Bally's on Hillsborough Avenue. We worked out there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I used to have to work off the half a quart of Stoli from the night before. So, okay, great.
It was, I always made my rounds there, too. That was a great place.
Nice place.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Bruce. We appreciate your call.
What's your number?
Number?
50.
50 it is. Thanks, Bruce.
Nice.
Bye-bye.
calls.
Great. Keep those calls coming in, 813-977-6800. We've got a line open for you. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Randy Ramori,
Hi, Randy.
Tampa, Florida.
Randy Ramori, good friend of ours. Is this the first time you called the show?
Yes, it is.
There you go, Randy. That's for you, Papa. Hey, thanks for calling and tell us what you know about this guy.
Well, I like to call shows that have club owners that walk with penguins.
Anda,
You're
there
not
you
kidding.
go.
You don't see that often.
No, you don't.
That's pretty cool.
And I know that Jim's a real big jazz buff, so I had to call about jazz.
Oh, God, I love him.
There you
this
go.
is this,
Jim, just on the serious side, one of my dear, dear friends, great guy, greatest clubs in the history of Tampa.
Amen.
I didn't even want to go to Jefferson High School, but I went, so it was across the street from Wilmington. So I had to call in. Great man, great show.
Great.
Good.
Thank
to
you,
hear from
Randy.
you,
Thanks for
Randy.
looking in on us. We know that you're out there, and when he mentioned your name earlier, we were hoping that you would give us a call, so we really appreciate it. Give us your Lucky Bolita number. You may win dinner with this man at Kiki and Raoul's.
I had dinner with him already, so I would rather have dinner with somebody else.
All right, very good. Well, give us your number
funny.
anyway.
Number 11.
11 it is. Thank you so much for calling,
Thank
Randy.
you.
Randy, you're a prince. Anybody who's buying sound equipment or guitars, go to Randy at Sam Ash Music.
There you
A little
go.
commercial. Little-
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thanks for
Randy.
calling.
Bye-bye. Excellent. We've got
Great
callers.
calls.
Keep the calls coming. Keep
Calls
the calls
are coming.
813-977-6800. Give us a call. We've got a line open. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Raul Castillo.
Hey, Raul Castillo, how are you? Hey, wait a minute. Did
That
he
sounds
say
familiar.
Raul?
I think
No,
he
that's
did.
Raul.
It's usually Kiki. Is this your first time calling?
Yes.
Did he say it was his first time calling?
Yes.
There you go, Raul. That's for you, Papa.
Hey,
Hey.
Hey, listen, don't pay attention to the TV because it's going to throw you off, man.
Yeah.
Just turn the TV volume down and talk to us on the phone. What's on your mind?
Okay, hey, Mario, how you doing, man?
I'm good, and you?
Good. I was just,
You're listening to the TV.
Yeah, don't listen to the TV, Raul.
okay.
Yeah, look away and talk to us on the phone.
Yeah, I was calling because I used to go to Jim's place when there was on Cypress, Mr. R's place.
There you go. There you go.
A long time ago, okay? You know, and we had a good time over there. It was great.
Right across the street from Jefferson, where we went to high school together.
Oh, yeah, for sure, you know?
Absolutely.
A lot of
Just
memories.
call, say hello to Jim, and that's it, you know?
Thank-
No,
Thank you very much. And he got that West Tampa accent.
Doesn't he, though?
The one you
Know it
talked
in a
about.
minute.
And listen, we're going to
Thank
see you on Tuesday because we're going to come by and have dinner with you. So be there or be square, as they say, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Give us your lucky bolita number because you know what? You might
win dinner for
at Castillo-
yourself at your restaurant.
That's funny.
What was it?
13.
13 it is.
Okay.
Thank you,
That
Rob. We
would
love
be
you guys, man.
hilarious.
We appreciate you.
He'll probably win.
Take care, Papa. We'll talk to you soon. Oh, that's great.
That's funny.
How about that? And if he wins, it's appropriate. It's appropriate.
It's a wash.
All right, we've got it. I love it when the calls keep coming hot and heavy like this. Keep calling, keep calling. We've got to, Stevie, give him the number.
That number is 813-977-6800, 813-977-6800. Oh, and email is goodtimes@tampanativesshow.com.
Very
Good
good.
job,
There we go.
Very good,
Thanks.
Stevie. Thanks for
That's what I'm here
reminding
for.
everybody. Is it 4 or 5, guys? It's 4? Here we go. Hey, caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Patty Matasini. I'm calling from Tampa, Florida.
Hi, Patty
Patty.
Matasini from Tampa, Florida. Now, I think Patty's called the show before, but Patty, is this the first time calling?
First time.
Oh, Bell.
All right. Maybe I've just talked to Patty online before on
Probably,
Facebook.
yeah.
Hi, Patty. Tell us what's on your mind.
I just wanted to call Jim and say hi, ask him how he was doing.
Here he is.
I know that name and I know that voice. I'm doing good, Patty. How have you been?
I'm doing really good. The other day on Facebook, you said it was the beer, and yes, you're right.
Yes,
It's
sir.
really good.
Yes, sir. Boy, it's been a long, long time. I'm going to try to get back here in a little while, and we'll see if we can do some things again. I appreciate the memory, Patty.
All righty. You have a good night.
You too.
Patty, before you go, give us your lucky bolita number. You might win dinner with this fabulous man next to us.
13.
13 it is.
13, I
Lucky
think, is
13.
taken.
Victor, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us the second number.
13, 3.
3 it is.
It's
Babe Ruth.
yours.
Took the
All
one
right.
off.
Thank you so much, Patty. We appreciate the call.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. That's great, man. We're getting new viewers
Oh.
tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a call. We've got a line open, 813-977-6800. Come on, keep those calls coming. Hey, caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Kiki.
Kiki.
Kiki, I'm sorry?
Kiki Castillo.
Oh, I'll ring the bell for you,
We
Kiki,
knew
even though you
they
called
were
knew
before.
it was.
playing with
Yeah, well, I
you.
was just calling to see my brother's over there messing around. He's not even working today. He's been watching your show at the house.
Oh, he called from the house.
Oh,
He's not
really?
at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, he's not.
He
I
got
just want
you.
to tell you that we used to go to Jim's place over there, the Holiday Inn across the street from Jefferson. That's
Absolutely.
when you were Maury talking to you guys. So
Right.
we all had a good time and then moved over to Fowler. But I just wanted to call and say hi and wish you the best of luck and let us know when you open a new place over here in Tampa or St. Pete. We'll be
Thank
looking
you very
forward to
much,
it.
man. We'll do it. We're gonna find a way to do it again. I'm looking for a place now, and as soon as I find something, we'll do the whole thing again.
Okay.
Doesn't that make you feel good, Kiki? I mean, to know that that's coming?
It has to.
Sure,
Yeah.
man.
It's exciting, man. And for all of us that were here when it first happened,
We
to
need
be-
a good party place around Tampa.
absolutely.
We
We do.
And I know just the age group.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go. Kiki, we'll see you on Tuesday. And
Do you
thanks
want to
for-
give us your number?
Yeah, because you might win dinner.
You might win dinner for yourself
For
at
you
your
and your
restaurant.
brother.
Hey, I'll be able to afford that then. Number 7 for me.
7.
Like he's Mickey Mantle.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Kiki. We love you, buddy. Thank you.
man.
Bye-bye. We have the best fans and the best sponsors.
Absolutely. We
bar
really do.
none.
Sure.
Well, what does that say about us?
And if that's
What does that say about
well,
us?
you
and
got
our
it
show?
together.
They
That's
like
what
us.
it's.
I think we're doing a good thing.
Exactly right.
You know, I feel
guys
like
got it.
Sally Fields right now. I should look into the camera and go, they like us. They like us. Thank you so much. Listen, we've got a line open, 813-977-6800. Do I go to 5 or 4, guys? Oh, 4. Listen, this is the best. I mean, we've not experienced
This is
this
a big
before.
flow. It
Keep
is.
those
For a long
calls
time.
coming in because we've got Mr. Jim Robiconti. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Caller?
Hi, I'm Cindy Ward.
Hi, Cindy
Cindy.
Ward. Cindy, talk to us on the phone. Don't look at the TV because that guy on the TV, he's about 7 seconds behind.
He'll trick you.
Yeah, he's a tricky guy.
Every time.
He
So
is.
talk to us here, Cindy.
Okay, hi Jim. How are you?
Hello, gorgeous,
I've
most
had,
beautiful redhead I've ever
talking
seen in
to
my
you
life.
and seeing your wonderful face on the TV. And I was probably in that club on every one of those pictures that you were showing.
Well, this young lady, if I remember right, She won. I did the Valentine's contest every year, and she won it one year, if I remember right.
I did win it one
Yes,
year,
sir,
and
she
I
was-
still have my.
What?
I said I did win it one year, and I still have my T-shirt.
Well,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Need a picture of that.
Take a picture of it
Valentine's.
and
Yes,
send it
sirree.
to us.
Yes,
Cindy-
sirree. Go ahead.
Cindy, take
I'm
a
so
picture.
glad to know that you're going to be coming back, and we're all looking forward
I'm
to
going to
it.
try to find it, honey. I'm going to try to find a spot. I'm looking now.
Okay, sweetie.
I don't know, but I love it.
Cindy,
Yes.
do us a favor before you get off the phone and give us your lucky bolita number between 1 and 75.
77.
Well, that's up over 75.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
1 and 75.
33.
33 it is. And do us a
33.
favor. If you have that shirt, either take a picture of yourself in the shirt or just holding the shirt up. Send it to us at Stevie, the email address.
Yeah, it's going to be goodtimes@tampanativesshow.com. And here it is on the TV screen.
Good times
at tampanativesshow.com.
And why is it good time, Stevie?
Well, we have good times here.
Because
Yeah.
that's what we do here.
Absolutely. We
have
Cindy,
great times.
before I let you go, is this your first time calling the show?
Yes, it is.
There you go, darling.
Got a
That's
bell,
for
too.
you. And thank you so much for looking in on us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cindy. Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye, darling.
Thank you.
All right, keep the calls
Great call.
coming. Keep the calls coming. 813-977-6800. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Mr. Jim Robiconti's on set with us tonight. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Arthur Arcuri.
Arthur Arc.
Florida.
Arcuri.
And how are you spelling that last name? I see it there on the screen. A-R-C.
Like it sounds.
There you go. Arthur,
Right.
very good. Is this your first time calling the show?
My first time calling.
There you go. Listen,
Welcome in.
I don't remember ringing the bell that many times
No,
before.
No.
I'm going
not
to
for
go
a
home.
long
The bell's
time.
going to be ringing in my ears.
It will.
Artie, tell us what you know about this man.
I used to, my first job out of high school was working at a Holiday Inn over there where Mr. R's place started. And I got a lot of fond memories of Robiconti's. That's where I met my wife,
Oh.
Wow.
Rotolo Arcuri. And a lot of fun memories. Mr. Robiconti is one heck of a guy.
Yes,
Isn't
he
he
is.
though? He's an icon. He's a legend. And look what, he's sitting right here next to us. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Thank you
Very
very
cool.
much. I appreciate the memory and I appreciate the kind words. And I hope I was a decent boss while you were there.
Oh, absolutely. You were the best, sir.
Thank you, pal. I appreciate that.
Wonderful, Artie. Before we let you go, give us your lucky drawing. Bolita number between 1 and 75.
22.
22 it is. Thank you so much, Arthur. Thanks for looking in on us, okay? Call us anytime. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye now.
What a great story.
Hey,
Yeah.
He met his wife.
met his
Yeah,
wife. They're
That's
still
a long time ago, man.
Wow.
Huh?
Well,
Say it again.
you
At the
know,
risk of repeating
I'm
myself, they
I'm
love
going to
you.
tell you, we got
They love
lucky because that was a wonderful call. But I had another guy at the Robiconti's on Fowler. He had his 3 divorce parties there. I won't get into that part. Okay,
the other side of the
I
coin.
want a lot of
I
the
hope he
snake
quit
oil.
after that.
Well, we kept meeting people, getting married, and then he'd call
kept
me,
meeting people.
Jim,
That's
it didn't
funny.
work out. I got to have my divorce party. It's a true story. 3 of them
Great.
over the
Love
period
it.
of
3
about
times.
5 years.
Wow.
Wow, that's funny.
Well, I mean, it was absolutely the place to go on Fridays and Saturday nights, and sometimes on Monday, apparently,
Monday
and
was a
sometimes on
mob
Wednesday.
scene, and Wednesday was ladies' night. It was
And
great.
Wednesday was ladies' night. So, you
was
know,
great.
and the prospect of being able to kind of circle back around on that idea
Mm-hmm.
and do it again, even if it's a much smaller venue, and even if it's something that perhaps we roll out the dance floor on Fridays and Saturday nights.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because let's face it, we can't dance 7 days a week anymore, as most of us are getting
Exactly
into our
right.
50s and boom, 60s.
Never mind.
Okay, but I'm just saying, we're excited at the prospect of having Jim back in town full time.
And we're rolling out the 15-minute mark
What?
right now, so we're about done.
Oh.
15 minutes left. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Fast.
So, listen,
How
we
does that
still
go?
have time to get in on the Bolita drawing, which we're going to do in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to, get in on it right now. 813-977-6800. We know there are some of you out there that are watching that are just sitting there going, should I call? Should I not call? Should I call? I want to call. Well, call. Here we are. We've got
Please
lines
call.
open. Please call.
You know,
Stevie?
and Jim, also, one of my memories is my friends and I, when we would go to Robiconti's, usually on a Friday night, Saturday night, we'd go to CDB's first, get a big, gigantic pizza.
Great
and then
pizza.
Maybe around 10, 11 o'clock, and then head over to Robiconti's right after.
Sure.
We
And we
used
had-
to call them myself. I would call CDB and they'd bring a bunch of pizzas to the club
Oh,
for
yeah?
the employees. We'd
Oh,
be
wow.
eating pizza all night.
Nice.
It was great.
Yeah,
was
well,
great.
Pretty
And
good
they
boss,
were,
too,
they were
huh?
great pizzas back
It
then.
was
They
a
were
real
great.
Yes.
good time, man.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a good time. It was a good area. It was a great feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It really and truly was.
Keep those callers coming. We've got a line open, 813-977-6800. Let's go to the caller on line 4. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Caller, are you there? Let me try it again.
Did we lose him?
Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey there, this is Susie, and I'm calling from Englewood.
Hey, Susie
Hi,
from
Susie.
Englewood. How are you?
I know that voice.
Good.
I know that voice. I
How
swear
are
to God, I'm so
you?
shocked. How are you?
Good. How are you, my love?
Man, this is Susie. She was one of the girls in that picture.
No way.
Yes.
Which picture do you
Well,
recall?
the 4 girls behind the bar.
Oh, let's bring up
yeah.
that. Stevie called the
in
number.
the Buccaneer shirts.
Yeah.
Am I
Buccaneer
right,
shirts,
Susie?
4 girls, Stevie, right
That
there.
is picture number, would it be number 8?
It would be with the 4.
right here.
Number
That's
8.
it.
Yep, number 8.
How are you, Suze?
Oh, I'm doing good, Jim. I'm so
Look.
sad.
Look at your pictures there. She's the second from the left.
Oh, that's
Okay.
amazing. Susie, can I ask you real quick, is this the first time calling the Tampa Native Show?
Yes, it is.
There you go, darling. I'm ringing that bell crazy tonight. That's wonderful. Thanks so much for calling. You look great.
That is so cool. Do you see the?
Oh,
Can she see
thank
the
you.
picture?
Sure she
I
see.
can't wait to get to see him again and give him a big hug.
You too, baby. You're
Okay, love
a
you.
doll.
Bye-bye.
I love you.
Susie, well, before you go, Susie, give us your lucky bolita number between 1 and 75.
69.
69, good number.
69.
We don't mind that number at all here on the Tampa Native Show. All right, darling, thank you. You may win dinner.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, sweetie. You may win dinner with this fine gentleman here, and I hope she does.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's
so
amazing,
cool.
isn't it?
Now
That's what
listen,
that
That's
is.
incredible.
I gotta believe in my heart before we get out of
That
here. I
is
gotta
so
say
cool.
this. I gotta believe in my heart that Paul Guzzo again we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to
No
Paul
question
Guzzo,
Yeah.
about it.
because
Yeah.
the 5,300 Facebook shares brought us to Susie giving us a call tonight.
Yes,
because
I've not
otherwise
seen
there's-
that girl in 30 years.
Really? Wow.
and we can hear it in
35
her
years.
voice.
Well, she wants to see you
I
again.
knew her voice. The
Yeah.
second,
Right
she
away.
hasn't changed a bit.
Hasn't changed.
And we can hear it in her voice, the authentic
Yeah.
affection,
The
and
love,
we
right.
can't wait, all of us, to get
awesome.
together and meeting everybody anew.
That's cool.
Isn't that
That's cool.
Maybe she'll
All right, so there's our moment. There's our moment. All right, let's go to the caller on line 5. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Harry Fonte.
Harry Fonte. Harry, let me ask you a question. I'll get it over with right at the top. Is this your first time calling?
Yeah.
There we go. Wow, it's a record number of rings tonight. I don't even know. 12 times I think I've rang the bell. Hey, what do you know about this guy, Harry? Harry, are you with me?
Yeah.
Don't listen to the TV because that guy's a trickster. He's about 7 seconds behind my voice.
Yes.
Just talk to me on the phone. Look away from the TV. Tell us what you know about Jim.
Oh, I knew him from the old Holiday Inn in Tampa.
There you go.
And me and Marcelo used to go there all the time.
How are you, buddy? He's the one in the picture.
Yes, I saw the
You
picture.
still have it? Or
Yes.
did I send that to you?
I
or-
do. We didn't bring it in. We didn't load it in the TriCaster,
That's
but
the
we
one.
do have the
That's
photograph.
with him and
Harry's on the-
Marcelo and Tony D'Angelo and
right.
Dr. John.
That's right, Dr. John Burrell.
Yes. How are you, Harry?
Doing good. Doing good.
Been about 1,000 years. You doing okay? Good?
Yeah.
Terrific.
That's been a long time.
I could have used bringing you guys to South America to be my translators. My Spanish is
Oh,
still
Marcelo
terrible.
would have been great.
Yes.
Yeah.
You bet. You bet.
I'm so happy to hear you.
When are you going to open up your business?
Well, I'm trying to get back. I'm still doing stuff down in Chile and Peru, but I'm back here now trying to find a little place to do something. So tell your friends to keep an eye out for a location and we'll do something cool.
All right.
Harry, stay
You
tuned.
have my phone number. Call me when you come back.
You got it. You
Harry,
got
stay
it.
tuned to the Tampa Native Show, and if you're friends with us on Facebook, we will keep you, everybody, really and truthfully, we'll keep everybody
Informed.
apprised. If,
Yeah, I've
if
seen
you're-
y'all a lot.
Wonderful. Thank
Good.
you for looking in on us, Harry. And that's going to be, I guess, the quickest and fastest way, unless you talk to the man himself,
Right.
to find out when Jim's going to be opening up wherever he opens up.
You got my phone number. Call me.
There you go.
I sure will, Harry. Good to hear from you. Best
All
of
right,
the
Jim.
family.
God bless.
Thank
Before
you.
we
Bye-bye.
leave, you need to give us your Bolita number from 1
1
to
to 70.
75.
1 to 75.
Lucky
Uh-huh.
number.
44.
44 it is.
44.
44, like Channel 44. Thanks, Harry. We appreciate you.
Okay, no.
Bye-bye now. Here come the callers. Here come the callers. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Augustine Fraga from Sefner.
Augustine
Hi.
Fraga. I know because you've called the show before. I
He
can't
has.
ring the bell on you, so I'll give myself a break. How are you, Augustine?
Hey, that's all right. I don't need no more bells rung.
Tell us what you know about this nice man sitting next to us.
Well, I knew of him before I went into the Army.
Sure.
I joined the Army in 1976. I graduated from King in 1970.
Okay.
But I grew up in the Ybor City area, and of course, when I got into the Army, my younger brothers, were actually visiting his places.
Oh, okay.
The Fraga crew was in play in the late 70s, right?
But I was in the Army.
Oh.
Well, you know what? You're going to get a chance because Jim's going to do some new stuff here, and you're going to get a chance in a new unit in time to relive those days because we're all going to do it.
Well, let's put it this way. I pray he goes into the old-fashioned instead of this modern headbanger music.
I'm with you, pal. I'm with you.
Hey,
I
we're
understand
old-timers over
what
here.
you're
That's
saying. Tell your brothers thanks for coming to the place, and let me say thanks to you for the service you're doing to the country, man.
There you go.
Well,
As soon as I build a place, I owe you a drink. Just come find me.
I will. Thank you all for the support I got.
And thank you, Agustin, for looking in on us and for calling us. We appreciate it. We know you've called us, and we know you watch us every week.
Thanks
we
for
appreciate
watching.
that. Your lucky number between 1 and 75?
Let me go with 7.
Lucky 7.
Let
Mickey
me
Mantle,
see.
you got it.
Oh, it's taken.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Kiki got 7.
You have to
Try
pick
again.
another one.
Oh, it's already gotten? Okay. Let me go with 62.
62. You got it.
62 it is.
That's my age.
Thank you, Agustin. We appreciate you.
Adios.
Adios. Ciao. All right. Don't let me go over, Beck, because we got to do that drawing, and I want to make sure I don't go over. How much time do we have left? Gosh, the hour and a half is rapidly coming to a
believe it.
close.
I know.
That was quick.
Yeah,
was.
no,
Got
we're
an
not,
email,
we're not
too.
quite there yet, but got 7 minutes to go. As soon as this call is qualified, we'll get that caller, and then we'll probably...
Got a quick email too.
Quick email,
Yeah,
sure,
this
please.
is Mark Garcia.
Okay,
He
Mark
writes,
Garcia.
Hey, cuz. I think
Hey,
that's you,
cuz,
right?
that's me.
Let me know when Mr. Robiconti, you and Steve and Sally will be hosting the party, and I will post it on my Facebook page to over 5,000 of my connections.
There you go.
Terrific.
So we have some.
Wow.
Town and Country's in the house.
We
Town
do
and
it.
There you go. Town and Country's in the house. Thank you, cuz. We appreciate that. Mark, that's the beauty of Facebook, and that's the beauty of that
Exactly right.
platform.
It's
That
wonderful.
it's so
It is.
interconnected. And, you know, our group, Stevie's almost up to 5,400 members again, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're
we had to
rapidly
start from
closing in on
scratch.
6,000,
Yeah.
and we had to start from scratch. We got to 6,000. Facebook kind of changed the formulation.
Had to start
We
all over.
build all over again, and we're back up to 5,400
6,000.
again.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So thank you,
Terrific.
one and all, for looking in on our show,
Thank you.
for following us on Facebook. Look at the calls.
Look at the calls.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. All right. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Joey Donovan, Tampa.
Joey
Joey.
Donovan.
Hi, Joey.
Wow. Hey, Joey. We got a Joey Donovan call. Joey, is this your first time calling the show? Joey?
I say, unless you promise not to ring that damn...
Oh, no, Joey. I'll ring it softly. Softly.
He cannot.
Softly.
not ring that
Okay,
bell.
Joey, go. Got about 3 minutes left. Go, Joey.
3 minutes.
Well, maybe 5.
It's up in 3 minutes.
How are you, Joey? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It's been a couple of whiles. Yeah, and actually I wanted to touch on something that has nothing to do with the Tampa Club. It has to do with coming down to Peru and working with you down there.
Oh,
Yes,
how
sirree.
cool.
Yes, sirree. I built quite a few clubs in Lima, Peru, and one of the most trusted people ever in installing sound, and all of that is Joey Donovan.
There you go.
And he came down, I bought the sound system from him. He came to Lima, Peru. He set the whole thing up, and honestly, Joey, that sound system just kicked ass. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Jim. But it had nothing to do with the sound system. But I just wanted to point out something very interesting. It was the trip when you flew Patty and me, my wife, and
Right.
I there. We were so looking forward to trying out the local cuisine and all that. We landed at the airport. It was wonderful. You took us straight to TGI Fridays.
I'm Peru.
But they did have an accent, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Joey, give us your bully leader number between 1 and 75.
Oh, man.
Lucky number.
47.
47. It is. That's
47.
right there.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the work, Joey. Take care, buddy.
Thank you,
He
Joey.
still does good work.
Appreciate you, Joey.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. That's great. Last call of the night. Here we go, line 4.
Last call
Got
for-
about 5 minutes to go.
Alcohol.
Hey, caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. I'm breathless. This is this is Jim Robiconti. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Kathleen Long from
Hey.
Apollo Beach, Florida.
Hi,
Kathleen.
Kathleen. How are you, darling? First time caller?
I'm good. I can't complain. It's really nice to see Mr. Robiconti on the air.
There he is.
We're all very proud of him.
Hi, Kathleen. Thank you very much.
You bet. We're looking forward to a new club opening soon.
Very good. As soon as I can find a place, she's a great realtor, Kathy. She's a realtor. If you can find me a place, we'll do it as quick as.
Come on, Kathleen, we're counting on you.
I'm counting
I'm
on you.
looking.
Kat.
I just sent 2 over to him today.
Beautiful.
All right. Okay.
We'll
I
be
shut
on the
my
lookout.
phone off, so I will look.
Kathleen, that's for you because I know it's the first time call for you. Give us your lucky bolita number between 1 and 75.
That would be 13.
13 is taken.
Is it taken already, darling? Give us a
Yeah.
second one.
A second number would be 61.
61. Very good.
61.
You know, we haven't had. Thank you. Thank you so
available.
much, Kathleen. Looking on us every Thursday. We're here at 7 o'clock.
Kisses,
Thank you so
sweetie.
much. It's a great show, and it's great to see him on air.
Thank you, darling.
honey.
Thanks for looking in on us.
That's awesome.
You know, we've got about 3 minutes to go. We've got to get to our bolita drawing. And let
We
me
got
just
a bunch of 'em
oh
today.
My goodness. We've never had that many first-time callers. We've never
many
had that
bells.
many bell rings. We've never had that many second choice numbers because so many numbers have been
That's
taken
right.
with so many
Yep,
callers.
that's true.
3 minutes to
And
go. Let me
another
just,
call came in.
And another call's coming in now. Let me just say real quick because I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. I got a call from Ronnie Fernandez this week, and Ronnie just wanted me to mention to everybody watching tonight that there was a dear lady, 97 years young, Sarah Denton, who used to run the Seminole Recreation Center. And why I mention that is because she passed away just a few days ago. So many kids that grew up in Tampa went to the recreation center there
Yeah.
in Seminole. And she was there running that recreation center for so many. She touched so many lives, much like the man sitting to my right here. We just wanted to say heartfelt condolences to the family. 97 years, that's a pretty good run.
good life.
But to all that remembered her, she's just passed this week, and boy, did she touch a lot of lives and contribute to so many people. Next week's show is going to be a replay of a show that aired February of 2011.
Imagine that.
Wow,
long
February
ago?
of 2011, and it's favorite TV shows growing up in Tampa when we were kids. You got to watch it.
It's a fun
next
show.
week, this very time. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy
On
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Eve. So when you're sitting there trying to get over that L-tryptophan, whatever that thing is that you're laying on the couch going, oh, I hate so much, tune into the Tampa Native
was a
Show.
great show.
Because you're going to get to
Yes.
watch the 15-minute girl and myself sing
Boy, the way.
Glenn Miller played. We're going to sing the Archie Bunker song.
was
It's a
great.
great show. It was a really, really fun
Lot of
show.
fun, too.
Also, immediately after this show, Channel 36, Verizon, Channel 949, Bright House, is last week's show, which is a good one as well. It was open mic night. Lots of great callers.
Yep.
Don't let me go over. We've got all of our callers. Get your numbers ready. Jen,
Get
are
your
you ready?
numbers ready.
All right. 1 minute to go. Oh, my goodness. Can I get this thing open? What's going on here, guys? All right, Jim.
Not
Get
my
in there.
fault.
Oh, I'm
Let's
going to
go.
do this, huh?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Our guest
All
always
right,
draws
let's
the
see how
closest
we
to
do right away.
without going over
53.
53.
53
So give
would
me
be
52,
Bruce
51.
Krentzman
Bruce.
with number 50.
Bruce Krentzman, you are our winner tonight. We've got about a minute to go.
Congratulations.
Bruce Krentzman, reach out to us. We'll let you know when and where you can meet us for dinner. Jim, Tuesday night, Kiki and Raul's Castillo's Cafe and Catering. About a minute to go, you said, darling? 45 seconds
Oh my
to go.
gosh.
Let me just say, Jim,
Thank you.
what a privilege.
No,
What a
privilege is all
fun
mine.
show.
Privilege is all mine.
Thank you so much.
Yes, great show. I think these people are terrific. I thank them for having me, but there's so much history in Tampa and so many good people in Tampa. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of other people on, which they do. Be sure to keep watching this show and know more about the history which you people made in this town. Tampa's
Great,
a
that
great
was
town.
great.
We love you,
Great
Jim. On
job.
behalf of everybody that puts this show together, cups up, everybody.
Cups up.
We just like to say that's Tampa Steve. This is the 15-minute girl, Steve Canella, Sally Nunez, the great Jim Robiconti. I'm
Thank
Mario
you.
Nunez. Salud,
Salute.
happy days.
Happy days.
We love you, Tampa.
Yes, we do.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, oh, I remember, yeah, native. Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history. Yeah.
All right now, don't forget. Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.